Good morning, everyone. How are you? So about 10 minutes ago, somebody walked in here and said, "Where is everybody?" And I said, "Oh, don't worry, they'll show up. Look at this. This is amazing." How many of you were, oh, well, if you hadn't gone to bed, were you awake? Or how many of you were woken up by the storm last night? So it was quite impressive. I live in this area and we seem to be in the middle of a microburst or a downburst or whatever you call it. We probably got an inch and a half of rain in a matter of about 30 minutes, which for those that are new to Arizona, that is a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. If you have not been over near PV Mall, drive by. There are lakes in all the water runoff sections. If you drive around towards Costco, the park that's being redone, it got a little help. A few trees went down on their own. So I'm not sure whether that was planned or not, but I'm sure they'll modify their park renovations because they are underway, whether they like it or not. So, but hopefully none of your homes were damaged. I didn't get a chance to assess mine this morning, but as far as I know, there were no leaks coming in, and I just saw a lot of leaves all over the place that get cleaned up somehow. So I think I'm going to put my 20-year-olds to work at that. We'll see how successful that is. They're not real yard people. So good morning, and whoops, don't lose my screen there. We have a jam-packed meeting here. We've got a guest and some information that we want to pass on. Barb's going to bring information about the new condo information if you haven't heard about that. But let's start with August birthdays. Do we have any fine August? Barbara, she's being quiet there. Audrey, Barbara, you're being quiet. You're like hiding. Yeah, she doesn't want another birthday. Well, happy birthday to all of you. Hope you have a wonderful month and new year ahead of you. Um, August is the month that I get two slides, not just one. This was the month that Realty One Group bought John Hall and Associates, or it wasn't the month, but it was the month that most people made their transition because you will see all these lovely people, and then you will see a whole lot of them with 14 years because they all came over from John Hall. There are a whole bunch of you there still. Yay! So, and we'll get to this a little later, but a lot of those with those years of success are those that we're calling about our lovely fingerprint cards. So, we'll get to that in a little bit. But let's talk about the $1 Million Club, right? So, a few less agents this month than last, but we've still got quite a few people and quite a few people for the first time. It's kind of fun. 92 lives. Now, for those that are not tracking, 46 million in July. In June, we had 82 million, but you'll notice there's a photo that's missing here. So I'm guessing that Joan did not close anything last month, and therefore that's why we are a little lower. Yes.
Close on the 14 million.
I know she did. Yes, I've been very involved with that lovely transaction. So yes, it was a beautiful $14 million deal. Yes. Yes. So Joan is missing and that right. And so, this office is unique. If you're new to our office, that we can jump up and down by literally tens of millions, depending on what Josh with Stately Living and Joan Levinson do, because they routinely are doing multi-million-dollar transactions. So our numbers can quickly go up and down. So we don't take much weight in that number, but I'm just thrilled that all of you that hit that $1 Million Club were there. How many of you closed deals last month? Oh yeah, you closed a few deals there. Okay. she's being shy there. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, all right. So, and we've got some new folks. Allery, I put you back up here because you got one day on the last one. And Tim is her husband. He'll sneak into the next meeting. Yeah. Next meeting. Okay. Tracy joined us as well. Tracy's coming up from Realty One Group Integrity in Tucson. She relocated back up to the Phoenix Scottsdale market and so joins us from there. Very experienced agent. And Jillian also came over, new agent, and actually will be working with Josh. So looking forward to working with Jillian as well. Just a reminder for any of you, there's a lot of change going on in the real estate front. So any of you that know realtors that are a little uncomfortable with the changes in their situation, direct them our way because things are pretty calm here and we're not expecting any changes. We're not going out for an IPO. We're focused on stakeholders, not shareholders. So anybody that you know that is concerned about that, please direct them. You refer 3, you get a year for free. So, all right, who wants some numbers here? Who thinks the numbers are going to be up, going to be down? Going to be flat? All right. I mean, we saw a little bit of slowdown here, but let's go ahead and look at this. And I will give you a little tip. This number here on your version that you got in the email is actually wrong. I had to change that. I don't know that you can see the little extra dark black around that 24,279, but it said 24,734. And I'm like, well, that's unusual. How did it stay exactly the same? Well, it didn't. So I was like, oh, hold on a minute. So I fixed that. But so sales price went down, which is a little unusual. And I think the biggest thing that any of you that are watching these numbers, right? What is the unknown with all of these numbers with the sales price, purchase price, right?
Pending.
Sessions, huh?
Pending, you said.
Pending, well, we'll get to pending. But the biggest thing with the pricing that we don't know is concessions. I was listening to something Leah was talking about in one of her meetings. Just fun to go listen to other brokers' office meetings. So I don't know if you guys listen to my old ones, but I went and listened to one of Leah's, and she was talking about what do you put into the concessions, right? Should you be putting air conditioning? Should you be putting roofs? And so, and the problem is there's no consistency to that, right? And here's the thing, if before you go under contract, they put a new roof on, it's not listed in concessions, right? So the question is, what is supposed to be in concession? And I'm posing that, folks. There's no right or wrong answer here. The challenge is there is no consistency here. And when we're using that as a comparison, so if I've got a neighborhood that has, I don't know, concessions of 10, 20, 30, $40,000 in concessions, I'm working to help my seller list the property. What are we using as what should be realistic, right? 10,000, 50,000? Like that's a huge adjustment. So pick up the phone and call the listing agent or call the buying agent for that matter. Hey, what was included in those concessions? Oh, they put a new roof on and 2 air conditioners. Okay. My property already has those. Why would we take a hit with a brand new air conditioner we already have? Does that make sense? So food for thought, just to let you know. All right, so let's look at this. So sold went down 822, under contract went down 770, days on market was flat, active went down 455. So little bit of shifts here, but nothing to worry too much about. The reason I found out that number was wrong, right? It was corrected on this version, so kind of fun there. So same numbers obviously in the middle. This is just a different view of that. All right, so since June we had 625 as the purchase or the average sales price, and we're now at 609. Actives, you know, like I said, they went down those numbers. Everything's a little bit down now. Is that normal or is that not normal? I would say that's pretty dang normal. Those are not huge jumps. And this is the time of the year that things traditionally slow down, right? So I know we're not supposed to talk about families, but guess what? Families move in May and June here because school starts in the East Valley in July. School started last week here in the PV. I think Scottsdale, it started this week, right? So you're talking school started. So families with kids in school are automatically trying to get in before they start school. hardest thing as a parent is trying to juggle kids to get them off to their first days of school and not know where anything is, right? And then we're moving in, where is everything, right? So most parents try to do that earlier. Now, how many of you have helped people move from the East Coast? When does school end in the East Coast?
June,
Beginning of June, end of June?
end of June.
End of June. Isn't that fun for Arizona? They're not even out of school. We've been out of school for over a month, right? Our homes are on the market. We're ready to go. And we go back to school in some parts of the valley in the middle of July and other parts in the beginning of August, right? So if you've got people moving from out of state, it's like, hurry up, because you got to go now, right? So little different because everything going on in the East Coast, totally different timing. And I always love that people say, well, who wants to move in the summertime in Arizona? Well, nobody does. But the reality is that is the bulk of moves that we do because families are moving at that time of year. All right. And we're going to go over these things on the other side as we go through our specific slides for all of the actual searches for 10-mile radius and Maricopa. But let's talk about the active listings per month. Last month, June, 24,734. This month, 24,279, right? Again, the key thing to look at is look at the year over year. Last year, we had 24,183 active listings. That's not a big difference, folks. We're all talking about that we have this huge increase. No, we don't. Right? Yes, there's a lot of listings, don't get me wrong, but the number shift is not huge there from last year to this year. And I still think a lot of it is because we're picking up mobile homes and manufactured homes literally in these numbers and picking up a whole other area of the state. We're picking up the whole Verde Valley area because that was not, well, it was on last year, right? But it wasn't on the year before. Okay. Oops. Move. All right, come on. There we go. So pending, this number's down a little, right? 5,491, obviously down from last month, but look at last month compared to last year in June, right? 59 up to 62. Last year in July, we were at 58 and now we're at 54. So I think the bigger reason we have the shift here is because we had way more properties pending last month. The question is, did they close, right? I love the pendings, but we got to get them across the finish line. How many of you are having trouble getting across the finish line? A lot of deals are challenged right at the end, right? So look at that. Last month, we did close a lot, 7,200. That's awesome. And well, that's June, right? July was 6,400. Again, not unusual for July to have that number be less than in May and June. Right? That May, June is that big push. Okay. So statistically, right? Last month, active listings were down. They were up just a smidge from a year ago. Pending listings, that's 12%. That's a large number that's down. Last year, they were only down 6.5%. I'm guessing interest rates, right?
Yeah.
And uncertainty, right? If we look at our 10-mile radius, I would bet you our 10-mile radius is doing just fine, right? Because our luxury listings are going nuts right now. Because if you've got cash, they aren't caring about anything. They're buying and $14 million, that was cash, not a big deal, get it done, right? A lot of these are all cash, right? So sold listings last month was down 11%, but it was up over last year. So that's important to see that we have actually moved that a little bit forward, okay? Average sales price is up from last year, but down from last month a little. So again, I would say what Melissa said earlier, it's kind of flat, right? It's not a huge shift. These words have not changed for yet another month, right? The number one takeaway here is if you are listing, if you have a seller, you have to be the best looking home for the best price, period. Because if not, you will be chasing the market down over the next 6 months. And how long are homes in your area sitting on the market? You better double check that one. Because I've got people that are taking 90-day listings. I'm like, and how long are homes sitting in that neighborhood? Maybe you need to take a little longer listing. 4 months, perhaps. I get that you want to beat somebody else out, but really, if things are sitting that long, why are you taking such a short listing? Protect yourself and your seller. You're trying to put all this work here, but you've got to prep that house, okay? All right, so you guys remember you get that in your email. Let's look at, I got to get me out of this picture. Hold on. We're just going to shrink me down here. All right. So here are the ARMless stats for Maricopa. Those other numbers covered the entire ARMLS, which we know includes Prescott, it includes Flagstaff, it includes wherever somebody in our ARMLS wants to cross market something outside of this area. So understand that we've shifted just a little bit. Our median sales price is 510, right? For July 31st. And that median sales price, if you look over in the little box on the top, says it decreased by 2.5. So $2,500. Not a huge shift, right? Because it was at 512,500. That honestly, when you look at, this is still including everything from mobile homes to luxury, right? So that is not a huge difference at all there. Median comparable list price was at 555 and it dropped to 549. So you're talking about a $6,000 decrease. None of that is huge, but you need to look at what is happening in the area. If you're listing a home, check what has actually moved. Now, the housing supply went up 2.74 months. So that is a slight shift up about a quarter of, I'm sorry, wait a minute. 2.74. I have 2.98. Oh, from 2.74, it went to 2.98. I didn't change the numbers up there. So, but it did go up just a quarter of a month. So just a few days, not a long time to worry about, okay? So just a little bit of shift there. Again, this is Maricopa overall. And then you can see the specifics. I went ahead and did, if I just do what's active in ARMLS, right? July, this is last night, 23,505. You drop that to Maricopa County, it's 16,857. Don't look at that general number. Narrow down to what you're comparing to, right? It makes such a difference to look at your specific numbers. Obviously, not as many mobile homes, condos, etc. When you go down to single family, it drops it to 12,000. So that's fine, right? So you could do it either way. If you want to do all of Maricopa and include things beyond single family, or if you're dealing with single family, narrow your search so you're able to talk to the numbers that make sense for your clients, right? All these numbers are slightly down. I forgot to change the arrow, except for coming soon, which who cares, right? That's a snippet of time on one little day that could have changed, 6 times over between now and yesterday. So
1,000-ish condos, townhouses, mobile homes.
that are active right now.
Interesting.
So if you do that,
Like everything's a condo.
not according to this is not showing that. So, because the general, and then when I just go to single family, it drops it to 12,000. And so all the numbers on the bottom are single family. So you're just comparing single family, right? So under contract pending, we dropped just 238 out of that 46 or 4,800 last month to 4,600 this month. That's still a good solid number of UCB and pending. That's what we want to see, right? We want to see those contracts in place. Now let's look at the 10-mile radius, right? So here we have 740 is the comparable sales price. And I don't get the other one to compare from. Okay, so 740, it increased $425. That was it. I was like, okay. And then the median list price is 796, and that was a decrease of $39,000. So obviously there's a shift there, something, not a lot, but still a shift. And again, when you realize we have $14 million listings, $40,000, like that literally is pennies when you're dealing with our luxury stuff in this 10-mile radius, right? So keep that in mind because that's including all of that. The month supply increased by almost a full month. It's 3/4 of a month that it increased, meaning that we have that inventory to turn over. So, okay, so let's look at the specifics. So here I kind of do both single family. So this gives you your idea, Melissa, so you can see the non-single family as well as single family. The pink is the single family. The others are combined, right? So it's not isolated, it's combined. So single family is 747 of the 1,070. I don't split that out because I have to check all those other boxes, right? So I just do the combined and then the singled out this. So, again, we're still down on numbers. Almost every time we run this, we have seen numbers in the 3 digits. Occasionally, you're seeing single family here. It's adjustment of only 17 units. Again, that's kind of to that we're kind of flat, right? 17 unit adjustment from what was sold in July to June is not a big deal. So all these numbers are pretty low. That's where we want to see them. We don't want to see a huge spike. The UCB and pending, that's a huge drop. That's not what we want to see, right? Single family dropped by 400 units, and that's 50% drop. So that means we did not have as many go under contract last month. Now, again, they still could have closed. I mean, we still could have an increase in that number, but here you can see half the number. These are the days. This is August 1st to August 10th, yesterday, right? So 10 days versus in June of last month, there were 13 days before the office meeting. So little bit of a drop, but again, we're at least still seeing some movement here. 2-day differential, it's just hard to say, especially when the weekends hit there. So you kind of have to factor that in, but don't worry about it too much. I just like to show that there's still the movement at the beginning of the month. The other chart that I showed of all of ARMLS, right, and not just the 10-mile radius or all of Maricopa, that number down there was strong. So that's good. Okay, so you can kind of see, if you prefer looking at it on this chart, kind of month, the 1004. So 6 months, right? Or the 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. I just moved the chart from where we are, and you can see not huge shifts here. None of these numbers are massive. 736, May 31st, June 30th, 739, and then 740. So the pricing is, again, flat, right? But where are your clients telling you they want to list at? Up here, right? That's a mistake. Because if everything's staying flat and you're going up here, unless you are absolutely the best home for the best price in the best neighborhood, you're not probably going to get movement. So be careful with that. Okay. All right. I think I had this slide last month. For those that didn't catch it, Realty One Group welcomed our 26th country, Mongolia. So kind of fun to see. And Sammy didn't come. Do you want to? You have information on that. Okay. So, well, I'm going to jump to your slide because we've got Aries here. Well, here, come on up, Aries. Is Aries. Okay. Aries is from the Phoenix Association of Realtors. Hold on. Let me put this back up so you can see yourself. You got to come on this side though. Because you're going to get on. We've got people online that need to see you and hear you because the mic is in there. So come on over here. So first, Aries is going to show us a little bit, tell us. So for those that remember Sammy Glassman from our office, Sammy's now in our Scottsdale office, and she's on the board. I think she's on the board.
She's our president
of Association of Realtors. And so she is letting all of you know, how many of you are members of Phoenix Association of Realtors? So for those that are in a part of Phoenix, they are running their LEAD program, which is their leadership program, right?
Yes. So we are running Leadership Academy. These are the dates that are up here, the sessions. It is a $99 cost to attend, and they're building a really comprehensive, very interesting program for sure. There's going to be lots of updates, like we're doing market updates. I believe we're doing a full water update as well. And it's going to be great. Advocacy is a big part of it. So you're you're hearing me speak today. If you join the Lead Academy, you'll hear me speak then as well. But it's a great opportunity. Highly recommend, especially for realtors that are, even if you're just starting out as opposed to being in the industry for a long time, this is a good program for any realtor at any stage of their career. Great networking opportunities and a really good way to kind of get in front of a whole bunch of different people. We will also have like elected officials there, so it's a good opportunity to network with your community.
And Lloyd did it through We Serve as part of what you were doing. So again, if you want to get involved in the associations and take a more leadership role, I highly recommend it. We've got flyers here. If you want any, I'll have them. If let me know, we'll keep them out. And then I want you to go ahead and click the arrow, and we'll start your presentation. So thrilled you're here from Government Affairs.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. I kind of skipped the introduction portion, but let me go back to it. My name is Ariz Karim. I am the new Government Affairs Director at the Phoenix Realtors. So I am brand new from Texas. I just arrived here 4 months ago. So it's been a fun summer so far. I have been in the Realtor Association world for almost 4 years now. I worked at 2 different Realtor associations in Texas, and I've worked in government affairs in those associations as well. My educational background is in political science, law, and sociology, and primarily my career has been in public service. So I primarily worked for Houston area elected officials. So I worked for the mayor of Houston. I worked for the Houston Commissioners Court, which is our version of supervisors in Texas. I also worked for a state representative from Houston, and then I worked for a congressman on the Hill. So I've had kind of a long public service career, and I went over to private service about like 4 years ago, like maybe 5 years ago. And I worked for the HOAs at first, realized that was not what I wanted to do. And I got poached by the realtors. So, and things have been great ever since. I really fell in love with everything that y'all do, everything you do for your clients. You guys are helping people make the biggest purchase of their lives. And in 2022, I had the privilege of buying a home, and I got to work with an amazing realtor who really changed the game for me. So ever since then, I've been very passionate about advocacy, about your careers, and making sure that government interference stays out of your job. So that's why I do what I do, and I'm very excited to be here to talk to you about advocacy. So a little bit about advocacy. It is the culmination of government affairs and RAPAC, and I'm going to get a little bit more into it. So I like to put the RAPAC disclaimer up here because you'll kind of see it on everything. So I like to familiarize people with it. This is the RAPAC disclaimer. Anytime we talk about politics, contributions, political contributions, you're going to see our friendly RAPAC disclaimer. Okay, so one of the questions that people ask me all the time is, why should I care about advocacy? I'm worried about closing deals. I'm worried about doing this, worried about doing that, clients, sellers, buyers, all the things, So why is advocacy important to your business? There are several reasons why that you can read up here, but the most important one is that advocacy puts money back into your pocket. So right here, we have the RAPAC savings calculator. If you'd like, you can scan that QR code and plug and play your own numbers, but I've plugged in some numbers here just as an example to give you an idea of how much money is actually staying in your pocket and is staying in your clients' pockets. So say in the last year in commissions, you made $75,000. So $4,200 of that stayed in your pocket thanks to RAPAC advocacy. That could be from transfer taxes, taxes on your commission, from really any way that government will try to kind of tax that commission and keep that money out from your pocket and put it back into the government. We make sure that that goes back into your families and onto your tables. You can also tell your clients that you as a realtor, your work for them and your advocacy for them isn't just during the transaction. It happens before, during, and after because of RAPAC advocacy and realtor advocacy. So say the highest sales price you negotiated for your client last year was $414,000. RAPAC saved your clients over $9,000. That's $9,000 that stays in your pocket. And that's you showing the value of the realtor so far past just the transaction. You guys are members of your communities, and the effect and the impact that you have on them is immeasurable in many ways, and advocacy helps shine a light on that. So what is RAPAC? RAPAC is the Realtors of Arizona Political Action Committee, and RAPAC is dedicated to raising and dispersing funds to elect candidates that are champions of good business, real property rights, and homeownership. So RAPAC is dedicated to keeping the American dream of homeownership alive. So when we advocate at government, you as a realtor can go to your elected officials and talk to them about, this is the value of the realtor. This is what we do for your community. This is what's important. But it's a lot easier to do that when you're speaking as a unified voice, when there are hundreds of voices speaking together in unison, rather than just one realtor going to your elected officials. That's what RAPAC is. So I am a government affairs director. I don't have a real estate license. You have hired me to be your voice at government. And I learn everything that I can about your business. I learn everything that I can about what's going on in government, and I make sure to advocate for you on your behalf so that you are speaking with a unified voice. RAPAC is bipartisan. The realtor PACs are some of the most bipartisan PACs in the country. We have patting ourselves on the back here, but we have won most bipartisan PAC in the country for several years in a row. And that's where the good work gets to happen. Because when we focus on the issues and when we're speaking with a unified voice, good things happen. When we get bogged down in the partisan politics, we lose track. We lose track of what we're doing. So this is some of the kind of the big wins that we've had in the past 10 years that RAPAC has advocated for you. To highlight some of the big ones, I wish Sammy was here because she says it the best, but when I first met Sammy, I asked her, Sammy is the Phoenix Realtors president this year, in case you guys didn't know. So, just dropped a bracelet. Sorry about that. But when I first met Sammy, I spoke to her about why she invests in RAPAC, because she is a major investor. A major investor is someone that invests $1,000 or more in the PAC over the course of the year. So I asked her, Sammy, why do you invest? And she told me, well, Sam Miller asked me to invest, and I've just been doing it ever since because I know it's important. And I was like, okay, let me ask you a question. When the pandemic was going on, did you get to work during the pandemic? And she was like, yeah, I did get to work during the pandemic. And I was like, RAPAC helped you do that. It was because of RAPAC advocacy and because we made those calls to, your state legislators and actually at every level of government. So from federal, state, down to the local level, we reached out to your elected officials and made sure that real estate stayed an essential business during the pandemic. So you continue to be able to work, you continue to be able to put food on the table for your family, thanks to RAPAC advocacy. So that's one of the most important ones that I love to highlight. Another big one is real estate transfer taxes. I don't know if y'all are keeping the ear to the ground, but in California, there was a big real estate transfer tax bill that was introduced in this last legislative session. And in Arizona, we could rest easy because thanks to RAPAC advocacy, real estate transfer taxes are banned in Arizona, and it's codified in the Constitution. So that happened thanks to RAPAC advocacy. That's all because of the work and the effort that, the state level of our advocacy puts into talking about realtor issues, basically. So these real estate transfer taxes come up pretty much every year. Every legislative year, we're seeing new states talking about transfer taxes and bringing this up. And in Arizona, it's not an issue. So two big wins that I love to highlight, your RAPAC investments directly lead to a preservation of property rights and making sure that that money stays in your pocket.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I decided to do it last minute.
No, you're so good. Oh, and also this QR code up here, that purple QR code, it leads to a full list of every win that we've had in the past 10 years. So if you are interested in seeing what advocacy has done for you, kind of on a greater scale, I highly recommend you check it out. There are so many things that we've done. This is just a state kind of overview of the last 10 years. I'm going to get into some more information about federal, state, and local. So right here is what I was talking about. So here we're talking about state and federal legislative wins. So some of the big state wins that we've had in this past session, there are three big ones that I'm going to highlight. The first is SB 1479. This enacts protections against deed fraud, and most notably, it increases deed fraud into a felony, which is a super big deal. I know deed fraud has been really pervasive in Arizona, so this is a way for us to address that and to curb that. This is a direct result of realtor advocacy. A second bill bill that we're talking about today is SB 1426. This one streamlines the eviction process for unlawful occupants. So it helps you get rid of squatters from your properties a lot quicker. So I'm from Texas, and we've had crazy squatter issues going on in Texas as well. And we actually have a similar bill there. And this bill, what it does is it basically empowers the sheriff's department and the constables to come remove squatters from your property. So previously it was like a months-long process to get squatters out of your property. This bill has condensed that down to 3 days. So it's a pretty big win. It is great for property rights, and it's very important for those of y'all that may be experiencing squatters on your property. You now have a direct way of getting some recourse in a faster manner than you had before. The third one is HOA reform. We've had several HOA reforms this past legislative session, but one of the most notable ones is that HOAs now have to provide documents within 10 days of an electric offer being submitted. So you get that back to your clients a lot quicker. So it just makes the transaction a lot smoother, which is amazing. And there will be changes to forms that are coming as a result of these HOA reforms, and AAR is working on communicating that out. So just wanted to give you all a heads up to be on the lookout for that. Yes, ma'am.
So when you say that with HOA and they've got this reform, it's always been 10 days. They don't usually follow that. So are you guys going to start like monitoring that?
Well, I think it's been that in our contracts, but the HOAs aren't a part of our contract, and now it's been put in legislation that they have to do that.
Oh, okay. So again, still though, they don't ever follow anything. Is it that you guys are going to actually have an entity that follows up on that and make sure that they do what you're wanting to make them do?
So one of the things about this bill is that it's legislative teeth. So it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier to kind of not do what you're told when it's not a law. Now it's a law. So now there's legal recourse that is surrounding it. So if they are not going through on that 10-day endeavor, you do have ways of recovering that. So one of the best ways is reaching out to AAR, talking to ADRE, because they have some paths for you. And that's going to be the easiest way. Rather than trying to kind of go for it yourself, I would definitely reach out to AAR and let them know if your HOAs are not following suit with this 10-day turnaround time. I know the HOAs are a fun time, aren't they? So, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Clarifying question, is it
Yeah.
10 days or just days?
That's a good question. I believe it is 10 business days.
What's
Yeah.
everything in there?
Yeah,
No,
it's
no, no, well, calendar days. Our contract is calendar days. So, but the HOA is something different, but our contract, everything is 10 calendar days.
most legislation is geared towards business days because it keeps out like holidays and all of that. But let me take a closer look at that and I'll get back to you, because if it is calendar days versus business days, I want to make sure that I'm getting you the right answer. Yeah, so I will definitely look into that. Yeah, are there any other questions about any of these legislation up here? Awesome. So one of the big ones that I would like to talk about on the federal level is the 21st Century Road to Housing Act. I don't know if y'all have seen, NAR has been talking about it constantly because this is a culmination of 2 years of straight advocacy. And just to give y'all an idea of how big NAR was in getting this legislation passed, some of the things that people have been saying about this bill on like the politics side of it is that this is the most bipartisan bill in the last 10 years, first and foremost. This is one of the best pieces of housing legislation to come out of the federal government in years. And it is one of the it directly addresses some of the housing concerns that we have been trying to address on a local and a state level, but at a federal level. So it makes things so much smoother because now it's aligning with a lot of the initiatives that we already have at a local and state level. So it's great. It's a landmark piece of legislation. There's a lot of analysis out there. I have like an analysis that I've done too. I like made a cute little graphic and ChatGPT about it, but like it's got like a lot of good information on in the bill, and I can talk a lot more about it. But I want to highlight some of the main things in the bill that's impacting Arizona directly. So Arizona does have I think we have like a 56,000 shortage in housing shortfall. So this is supply is a big part of the problem in Arizona, and that's been consistently discussed. It's been talked about a lot, and this bill does have some initiatives in it that directly addresses the supply. So one of the main things that it does is that it makes the permitting process a lot smoother. So there has been a lot of like permitting delays at different cities and different municipalities. So this comes from a federal level of making those permitting processes a lot smoother, just gives guidelines that are better for the municipalities. And as your local lobbyist, I'm going to be taking those recommendations to the Phoenix City Council and advocating on your behalf for that. Now that we have more information on it, we're ready to kind of start talking to our people and start getting some good legislation on the books for making that permitting process smoother. Another big thing that it does is that it makes ADUs, the permitting and kind of the building process for ADUs a lot smoother as well. I don't know if y'all know, but at a local level in Phoenix, thanks to Phoenix Realtors Advocacy, there is a lookbook that already exists in Phoenix for ADUs and casitas. So if you would like to put an ADU or a casita on your property, you can go to the City of Phoenix Planning and Development Commission, and they have approved plans already, and that just makes the process a lot faster and a lot smoother. So I highly recommend that you do that if you are in the market for an ADU or a casita. This just kind of comes from the federal level, outlines everything. And like I said, it kind of helps fill some of those gaps. Like I said, we've been trying to address the housing shortfall at a local and a state level for several years. And this federal piece of legislation kind of culminates all of that. There's also been another important thing in the bill is that it does a lot of good stuff for veterans. So makes it easier for veterans to purchase homes, to stay in their homes, just a lot of developments about that as well. Trying to think what else. I'm trying to hit like all the things because it's such like a big piece of legislation. If you have any questions about it, please see me after. I could talk about this forever. So I'm not going to do that to you, Melissa, no worries. But it's a great piece of legislation. Highly recommend that you look more into it. So the first QR code up here is the NAR press release. So they talk about the bill in that press release. And then the second one is just this what is it called? This infographic. So if you want to, you can take a look at it and it'll kind of give you the information about what's in the bill, what's important, how it impacts Arizona, and housing shortfall and all the things. Yeah, I'll give y'all a second if you want to take a picture of all that.
The second one, it did seem to work. Really is the.
Yes, I can definitely. Thank you. Yeah, I will email it to Melissa if you want.
If you're listing a property that you think can have an ADU on it, we could go maybe get some of those plans and just advertise it that way a little more.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me connect with you after because I might be able to get in touch with Phoenix City Council and connect you directly with them so that they can help you with that. They're very helpful. I'm about to talk about like some of the local things that we have done. So thank you for that segue. It's perfect segue. But they're actually very receptive to our advocacy and they have been for a very long time. So there's a lot that we can do for you. If you're having any trouble with anything related to permitting, getting an ADU, all the things, my cell phone number is up here. One of the reasons why I exist in my role is to help you. So if you're having any issues, if you're running into any problems with Phoenix City Council, at the Planning Commission, whatever it is, please reach out to me and I can help make that process a lot smoother. So this is talking about we kind of touched on some of these things like real estate transfer taxes, ADU, standard plan. HOAs can't ban for sale signs, so it's a big win for us. HOAs also can't ban solar devices. That's also a big win for us. This is all a result of local advocacy. So this is thanks to the work that we've done at the local level with our city councils to try to make your process and your business and your life a lot smoother and a lot easier. So two big things that I like to highlight is water service and the emergency lockbox program. I have flyers on the next slide over for both of those programs, but the water service, so say your client moves into a new house, they need water service started, and you know, it's a weekend or whatever it is, like it's you're experiencing some kind of
They're
delay.
not doing it. I can tell you right now, they're not taking those estimated settlements. They are forcing us to get the final settlement, and we've got pools that are going green because there's no water on for 3
Oh,
days.
no.
So tell us where we can go to get that corrected.
Me.
The people at the front, how many
Yes,
of you know
ma'am.
this? I just, the people answering the phone, no, I need the final settlement. We don't have the final settlement. We're getting it Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock. And oh no, we can't turn water on until Tuesday.
Okay, I'm gonna be here after the meeting. Please come talk to me if you're experiencing this. I can directly assist you with this. I have a direct connection at the city water department, and we've been working on this and we've been trying to make this process smoother for y'all.
Tell the people at the
Yes.
front desk that are taking those calls.
Yes,
'cause
ma'am.
They do not
If you just
understand.
send the estimated one, they don't know the difference. Like, don't
They're
understand
stopping our
client
clients
thing.
from doing it.
Like, cause they're asking them, can I send the estimated? You know what I mean? Just send what you have and try it, I think.
There has been an issue with like kind of getting the information out about the estimated settlements. So I think this is probably just a communication gap that we can very easily fix. So please let me know if you have addresses for properties that are experiencing that. Please.
Sorry, past tense.
I know it's past tense, which is hard, but when you give them like direct addresses, they're able to kind of connect the dots on that. But I will also reach out to my connection. I'll call her and be like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that this is still going on and we need to fix that communication
But
issue.
Most importantly, I would say for all of you, if you have a client in the city of Phoenix, you need to prep them in advance that you've got to get an estimated settlement to that buyer, because they often don't get it until they go sign. We do, but they don't. So you're gonna have to get the estimated settlement to them so they can order their water turned on.
Yes, this is true. And if your clients are having some kind of a gap in getting that water started, please reach out to me. Like I said, my phone number is on the slides. So once we get to the end of it, you'll see it. Please take a screenshot of it or a picture of it and text me. And I will gladly help you. Usually when I reach out to my contact, they're able to get that water started within like 24 hours. And usually it's less time than that, but like even then they're like, we can get it going in 24 hours. It's just kind of a communication gap thing. So being able to help fill that communication, issue is a big part of my job as well. So if you need help with that, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here to take care of you. So please reach out. Please let me know. But yeah, the water service issue, thank you so much for telling me. It's very important to know. Now I can call my contact and be like, guess what? My people are still having problems. And she actually reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and was like, can you tell me if people are still having problems? Because then we'll be able to go in and do some re-education on that. Yes, ma'am.
So what have they changed then? Because we had this problem like last year.
Mhm.
What have they changed that your friend in the department has said? Are we still having problems? What have they changed?
So, so let me show you. So we have this flyer that the city has produced, and in this flyer, it talks about how estimated settlements are accepted now. So before it was final. Yeah, so before they were only accepting final settlements, and after we did some advocacy and kind of helped educate them about why it takes so long for the final settlement to get through, they created this flyer that basically tells you how to get water service started in a really easy way. It's for clients, realtors, property managers, landlords, all the people. So it has all the information on here. They're the ones that actually produced this. However, since they have so many employees, they've been having kind of a hard time making sure everybody's educated. So I think that might be why the front desk people are not fully briefed on everything.
Well, the other part of it is, we didn't know they were now taking that.
Yeah.
So we weren't getting, so most buyers don't receive their estimated settlement till they go in to sign.
Mhm.
They should have already ordered the water
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 days before that.
That makes sense.
So we need to educate realtors that the realtors know, get your clients the estimated settlement in the city of Phoenix so that they can go in and order their service.
Yes, ma'am. And I can, I'm actually, yes, sir.
We get a
Yes, absolutely.
Is it
Um,
not that bottom one, never mind, but yes, yeah, if you'll get that to me, I'll get it to all of
Yeah.
our agents, yeah.
yes, absolutely. I'm happy to email that
That's
out.
fine, I've got it.
Sounds like it's working itself out, but just over the year, like
Right.
not quickly.
Yeah, it's so my position was vacant for 6 months before me, and in that time there was like some gap that happened. So a lot of people, I'm also kind of learning from y'all as well. Every time I meet with y'all, with members and with realtors, it helps me figure out what I need to do and what y'all need. If I'm not talking to you guys, I don't really know, which is why I've been doing these office meetings. So please reach out to me. Please pass around my phone number, whatever you need to do, because I would love to know what's impacting you on your day-to-day basis and how I can help with that on a governmental level. So please let me know. This flyer is super helpful. It does make the biggest difference. So whatever we can do to kind of help bridge that communication as well. Like I said, my direct contact at the water department is very passionate about making your lives easier. So however we can help with that. Yes, ma'am.
That should be mandatory in buyer advisor.
Oh, I should tell her too.
No.
And I have to send it my own.
What is the buyer
But it's
advisory?
only Phoenix. Buyer advisory is the advisory we give to our clients to let them know about all sorts of government information and links and everything, you're right. So there should be something about how to get utilities on if there isn't.
Yes, oh, and Kyle brought up a really good point, because I just have to have this with my own house I own and I rent it out. The city is working with a county assessor. And my property was non-primary versus residential rental.
Mhm.
And it changed on its own 3 years ago when I put it into an LLC. So I didn't even know that. So when my tenant called the city to start their water, the tenant gives their lease or whatever.
Yeah.
They declined it. First, you put it in a request and then they say it's declined. The owner doesn't have it as a rental. And
Oh.
then he's texted me that screenshot.
Mhm.
And then I had to go to the assessor's website, fill out their form online, then send the city a copy of that through their portal. And then he could start our water.
Yeah, unfortunately, they do require.
Yeah, Kyle too.
Yeah, unfortunately, they do require that agreement to get water started. I think it's a
Yes,
legal
good.
thing for the
No,
for
I
the
think
city.
I just didn't have that on my last tenant happen. They've been there 4 years, so it's different problem maybe or whatever, but that's good that they're working with the county too.
Yes, definitely. So they've been working a lot on streamlining their silos of information and getting conversations happening between the county and the city. So that has been an ongoing thing. There have been actually several city departments that have seen a lot more staffing that have occurred in the past about 2 years. Water department, fire department are both examples of that. They've both seen staffing increases. So now a lot of the issues that you were experiencing before with communication gaps are probably they are going to get better eventually. Right now, they're not going that well because they have so many new people that are coming in. So we're trying to help I'm kind of helping with bridging some of that. So it's helpful to hear that there are people at the water department that are still having trouble with like the final or the estimated settlement and still having trouble with getting this water service started, so that we can help bridge that and help get some more education out. I was also informed by the water department that ADRE has been sending out this flyer and has been discussing with agents, like new agents, about how to get utilities started as well. I'm not sure about that because I'm not directly related to ADRE, but that's what the water department told me. Do you guys know anything about that?
I could
You
check
heard
their
anything?
Facebook. Maybe they did it through the schools or something.
Yeah, maybe it's through the schools.
If
I
it's
haven't
something this
seen it.
important, it should be for everyone.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Thank goodness for you.
I'm so happy to help. I'm so happy to help.
You know, for us as realtors and when you go to the other meetings.
Yeah.
It's good for us to tell our sellers, because kind of like we do with Southwest Gas, like, don't turn the gas off. Like, give it 2 days after, whatever. It would be good for us to tell them the same thing maybe about the water, like, let the buyer take it over, because sometimes one time for the Keiths, the city comes and they shut the water off at the street.
Yes,
Right.
they do.
And they don't turn it back on for 2-3 days when they
Yes,
call
they
and
do
say
that in front of my people.
so, yeah, oh, they
Yes.
were turning it off when we went the day of closing to get the key, and that guy wouldn't turn it back on. I go, can you go call your boss or something? So anyway, luckily my client was a lawyer and she got hit. She called them and he came back.
Yeah, in those
What do you
circumstances.
know what she said?
Yeah, I asked her, she's like, you just gotta be calm and nice. And I was like,
Oh, I bet she knows it.
She basically started that conversation with, I'm a lawyer, and they were like, whatever you want. But if you do run into those issues, please call me because I can help with that.
No.
Yeah.
We all know for gas, don't tell them your sellers to turn the gas off the day of.
Yeah.
We just haven't been in that mode about water ever.
Mhm.
And so we probably need to change as a whole too,
Yeah.
to say like, wait a day. It's gonna cost you $4 maybe, you know?
Yeah, it can definitely happen. And the water, because Phoenix has been growing so rapidly, everyone is kind of running to keep up. Phoenix was the #7 city with the highest growth in the US in the past year, which is crazy. The top, I think 5 were in Texas, which is so funny to me. But yeah, like being in the top 10 of highest growth is always like a stressful situation for the city because they have their utilities and their services that have to expand to try to keep up with the growth. And a lot of times that means that there's issues like, water service isn't getting started, water service is being shut off, we have a housing shortfall, so many things. But yeah, we're working through
Get
it.
to water, cause I really want you to go to your water slide.
Oh, with the water symposium, my water people have not
No,
confirmed.
no, your next,
My next slide,
I think, don't you have one on water? No?
my the water forum. Then which one?
No, I thought you just had information about water. Okay.
I don't yet, but there is a presentation that's come. Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
Okay. So my question is, we're talking about Phoenix, what about other cities?
Unfortunately, I can't comment on other cities.
Represents the Phoenix Associated.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
just asking, if you know that, I thought she should possibly know there's other cities that are doing the same thing like that she's doing for Phoenix Realtor.
There is, I do have a
We
counterpart. Yes.
We serve has somebody that does government affairs.
Like her.
Yes.
My God.
So he's the governor.
Who said that?
Lloyd.
No, we're doing it.
So Lloyd is speaking that he's doing city relations, city liaison for government affairs for We Serve. So just so folks online, because I know you can't hear him in the back of the room.
Liaison, if somebody's working. We serve
Yeah, but.
all of everything that we serve.
So far.
Yeah. So my counterpart at We Serve tells me that they're working on a liaison program, a city liaison program with the
He's
members.
one
Yeah.
of the city liaisons.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, it's getting bigger. Bigger. Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's getting bigger and bigger because.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, which makes sense. We Serve is also huge, like such a big territorial jurisdiction. For me, I'm just in the city of Phoenix, so I just deal with Phoenix City Council directly, and I leave up every other city to my very capable counterpart at We Serve. I don't know if you guys know Allie Anthony. She's great. She is the government affairs specialist at We Serve, so she has a lot of information. If y'all have any questions about other cities, I would definitely reach out to her. Yes, ma'am.
What's your reception from the people on the city council? Are they receptive to you? Are they?
No, they are very receptive. We are very fortunate that we have really good advocacy relations with pretty much everybody on city council. They're super receptive to our advocacy. They actually invite me in to talk about any updates that we have. I'm about to set up meetings to talk about the 21st Century Road to Housing Act so that we can kind of educate them on what's going on at the legislative level. It's impossible for them to keep up with everything that's happening. There are thousands and thousands of pieces of legislation that come out of the state and the federal government. So that's where we come in, because we read those legislations so they don't have to, and then we brief them so that they don't have to worry about it. Of course, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead and go to your last. Let's go ahead and go last slide and get your information.
Well, I think city Phoenix.
Here we go. Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
this is do you want me to talk about like the
I'm going over the figure pick. Well, Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and, I've got slides right after yours, but yeah, you can talk about that. Go ahead. I'm gonna break it all down here real quick. So that's my next.
So my final kind of slide right now is association updates. So we have two main association updates to talk about, and that's fingerprinting and the LEAD applications. So we just talked about the Leadership Academy applications here. And then if you would like to, if you're a Phoenix member and you would like to get your fingerprinting done, we do fingerprinting in office. So if you would like, you can scan that QR code and it kind of gets you to the LEAD to help what's it called, schedule those appointments. But yes, ma'am, that's all I've got.
Switch to your next slide so they can get your information. Anybody wanting the leadership? It's right here. Put it right. I'm gonna talk about fingerprints here, because gosh, I have gotten quite a bit of interest about fingerprinting. So has everybody got that? Folks online, you can grab that as well, but everybody here, tell me when you're done.
Thank you.
Okay, so fingerprinting, if you saw that, if you're with the Phoenix Association, their cost, I think I saw was $15, but I'm going to talk about this right here. We're doing a fingerprint frenzy here with Realty One Group. We will have in office each month for the next few months. Ours here will be the third week of, or the fourth week of August. I'm lost. I'll show it to you in just a second. This week it will be at the North Scottsdale location. We have gone to a local store here at 40th Street and Greenway, which is the Pack and Ship. Les, who came over here and did it one day for us, is charging $35. And the processing takes about 2 to 3 weeks. If you received an email from me, I was not sending that to everybody. I sent that to those names that I received from the Department of Real Estate. And I loved so many people were so kind and wrote back, oh, I've already got this taken care of. And I wrote them back and said, no, you don't, because I wouldn't have gotten your name if your name had been cleared. And I went to their own little thing. Let's see if I've got it right here. Let me show this to you. Look, you can go in there too. And it says, no, it is not cleared. And I deleted our agent's information there. But if it says no, it means you have some work to do, right? I got 160 names out of an office of 300 that currently say valid fingerprint clearance card, no. Now, thankfully, many of you had done this. You've gotten your fingerprints, but guess what you forgot to do? You forgot to scan it into the Department of Real Estate. Everybody's like, I took my fingerprints, peace out. Like, no, it's not.
See, we got that from Mandy back last year, because that's exactly when I did mine.
I will tell you that I have never seen something more government-related-esque directions that are horrible. I have to tell you, you have to go to the Department of Real Estate, then you go to the Department of DPS, and they don't correspond in what they say. I will send this, but yeah, you can take a photo of this. Basically, you have to go to the Department of Public Safety. You need the application for non-IVP. IVP is for our school teachers and those working with children. You want the non-IVP, okay?
Can I use the IDP? I can't.
Nope. I don't believe so. You need to contact the Department of Real Estate. I do not work for the Department of Real Estate. I do not work for DPS, okay? The problem is that your card has to be able to be sent in, right? So you can try loading it, see if they'll take it, but I doubt it. So as you go through, it's very easy because you click on the next screen and look, fingerprints is the bottom thing. Really easy to find. Click on fingerprints and you're going to get the next one. And then look, there's a box. There's like 12 of these blue boxes, but one of them very clearly says fingerprint clearance card. Continue, click there, and then you're going to get apply for a card, okay? And well, there are actually 3 things. The one most likely you're going to choose is this apply for card, okay? And then that's what the main thing says, and you're probably going to click apply for a new clearance card. Those of you that have had your clearance card 30 years ago, like me, until I redid mine,
you're applying for a new card. You do not have a clearance card. You had an old fingerprint card under a different system. Doesn't exist. You are not replacing an existing one. You're getting a new one, okay? You do not have a clearance card. So, and then this screen that comes up, folks, that is like 6 pages long. Go all the way down, okay? You can fill it in. It's very nice. Type it in so it is legible. This is a fingerprint clearance card, right? And the very bottom, this is why I can tell you it's non-IVP. The very bottom says AZ Department of Real Estate. You check that box. That does not mean they send it to them. That just means that's the department you're applying for, okay? And they put on their system to connect, okay? All right, so I'm going to go back to this though and show you that we have an event scheduled for August 13th. Let me see if I can move this out of the way. That's tomorrow in North Scottsdale at the Perimeter Conference Room. This is not in their office. This is in a different place. We're doing it as a part of our role-playing event, okay? Then Tuesday, August 18th, it will be a part of the Scottsdale and North Scottsdale's office. Oh no, they're doing a, I'm sorry, Scottsdale's doing a Mellon event during the One in a Mellon event. We'll be doing that later, so you don't need to go there if you don't want to. And then we are going to do prints and pastries on August 27th at 10 a.m. upstairs at Rock Title. You can come to that one. He'll be here for 2 hours. And then the following week, if you want to go to the Scottsdale, North Scottsdale office meeting, they're doing a thing as a part of theirs. And then next month, I will pick it up again here. We will get them back out here. So we're trying to give you a couple of times between August, September, and October, okay? I don't recommend, if you've been notified, to wait too much longer than November, because I understand that these need to be done by December. And if everybody waits till November, that 2 to 3 weeks could potentially stretch out. And remember, when you get the card back, you then have to scan it and go upload it into your own site on the Department of, Real Estate. So, and you can scan this, it'll take you right to AZDPS. If you want to do that, it will take you there. That is actually in our newsletter as well. So you have it on your computer from this morning as well for the updates. But remember, at the end, you need to send it into your own site. You're going to go in and log in, and then it will say how to load in your fingerprint clearance card. I've been told that it does not take a JPEG, that you actually have to scan it and make it a PDF to upload it. So try that if it's not working with the JPEG, but that's what I was told.
Just send it through a message to the message center. In the ADRE, that's what, they have to do that. No, not anymore.
Yeah, it's like submitting your continuing education now. So there's a little link.
There's a link in your actual site.
It's
It's underneath where it says add continuing ed. There's a button that said load your fingerprint clearance.
They added that this year.
Yeah, I just saw it. So, the role-playing event is, if you want to join us, it is tomorrow. Sorry, this is in the way here for. So August 13th at 2 o'clock. And we are at the Perimeter Conference Room. It's a different building, so please make sure you follow the address here, and all officers are welcome to come. You're welcome to join us. It's actually a really cool event. I'm going to thank you for all of you giving back. This is the One Cares.
gonna mention. right,
Yes,
We had our backpack drive this weekend,
yay.
and our team and our little community people, we just donated 85 backpacks, 23 lunch boxes, and like seriously boxes.
Please fill that out. Will you fill this?
Like hours or whatever, but we just donated them this morning.
But you created it. You made it happen.
Yeah,
so-
it was over 2 hours
Yes.
of like just accepting stuff, but anyway, it was exciting.
Okay.
It's really.
So for those of you that are looking for the rev up, you can jump on. Leah has been doing all of these classes. She decided to take on a summer school program and recorded everything. So if you're looking to brush up on anything, you can go through and look at those. If you want to do the rapid launch, you can do the corporate version. It is 10 sessions. It's $111. It's 5 weeks and 10 modules. Gosh, since we are so running so late, we will come back to the Queen of Hearts. You do have it? Okay, we'll do it after.
The business card and $5 to be part of it, even half the pot today.
If your business card is picked. So if you guys would like to do it, we'll do it at the end, just because I gotta keep moving here. So, let's.
One of those, classes for Leah, so I'm recording them on one of them.
Yes, I saw that. That was very cool. Oh, if you get a call, an email from me, please understand the progressive disciplinary steps. I need you to understand, please make sure you are signing your client, getting them to sign the ABA when you sign a contract. This is the #1 disciplinary act that I think is going to start stacking up here, because if you do one on the listing side and then you don't get it on they're also buying and you don't do it on the buying side, that's now 2, folks. So please understand this can stack up really quickly if you're not watching and grabbing that ABA form, okay?
That means we're gonna have a good holiday party with all the money or what?
I don't think we don't get the money. I don't get the money. I wish that would be great. Yeah. Yeah, you're talking to me. There you go. So please understand, I am reaching out. Okay. Barb, where'd you disappear to? Because you've got some cool information. She's coming back. Luckily, a lot of our guests are not here today. Kim is out. So please know that, Kim is available. She's just not in the office today. Older Public Home Warranty for your clients is there. Stand out during the peak season. Gotta love that with the heat. I just had my rental property had the air conditioning out for the last 2 weeks. So they finally got there. 4 days. We're waiting for you. Come on. Come on down.
Anybody that has a business card and $5.
Oh, here, I'll do that if people want to do this. So both of you. Fine. That's yours. And then anybody else want to do the Queen of Hearts? So what are you?
I gotta back up. Barb Spitzak with Epic Lending. A couple of the brokers have asked me to talk about condo changes. Is everyone familiar with what happened with condos a week ago? So they've done away with the streamlined condo reviews. So I highly recommend when you guys are taking listings for condos that you kind of do some homework up front before it even lists. Because this could really affect people getting a loan for the condo. There are still some non-QM condo loans that you can get for these type of situations. But if you want it to be a regular conventional Fannie or Freddie condo loan, there are some new restrictions and I'll pass these out. But basically it's the HOA dues, they have to allocate 10% towards, what does it say? 10% for reserves, and come January, it's gonna be 15%. So a low HOA does not necessarily mean good things for your buyer, even though we usually think it does, but it doesn't if they don't have this allocated. So I'll pass this out and then we'll also post some things on the Facebook page and all that good stuff. So can you pass these out for me? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Gold star. Gold star for Kyle, yes.
The dates on them. That policy.
So it went into effect already for the 10%.
No,
Okay.
oh, 10%, sorry.
The 10% was August 3rd. And then January, it says it on the flyer, January something for the 15%. So you have to get like the budget review from the HOA. You just have to do a little due diligence on the front end when it comes to listings. Yep.
By December 31st, or is that a contract? That's what we're assuming.
I would imagine you would have to close in December. What's the date on that, Melissa, for January?
4th.
January 4th. So yeah, you would want to close in December if you didn't want it to be affected by the 15% rule.
And if we have listings, we want to try to get HOA information up front, so we know if it's worth taking a listing. now,
Yes.
Or
Or look into, and I can also help you, or your preferred lenders can help you look into other loans that are possible for condos that are not Fannie and Freddie. Because there are available loans out there that we have, it's just not conventional. Yes. You could say I have some alternate options since this is not going to meet the Fannie and Freddie guidelines.
yeah. Better for us to know in advance.
Absolutely, absolutely. You would want to know all of, right, you don't want any surprises after you've gone live, right? You want to get all that information. Sometimes it takes the HOA a long time to get those documents to you.
I was gonna say, sorry if I missed that, are you anticipating on your side of things, underwriting to have like an additional 5-10 days of review, like when we're building in contract dates?
It just all depends on the HOA's response time.
Yeah.
Right? Because some HOAs are right on it. Some are like archaic and they don't get back to you forever and you're paying all.
Managed by Nancy in Unit 4.
Right, yeah.
Right, exactly. So it just all depends on that condo association. I would say when you're taking a listing, like to immediately start the due diligent process even before you go live, so that you have an idea of what that looks like and if buyers are going to have to look at a non-QM loan versus Fannie or Freddie. Because there are non-QM loans out there that would satisfy it. It's just that they're probably going to be a little higher interest rate, different guidelines, that kind of thing. Henry?
Are they separate townhouse too?
No, just condos. Because all condos have to go through a condo review. For conventional, townhouses do not. So, and don't be tricked by some things that are saying condo, because I know that I've dealt a lot with Sun City and all the different Sun Cities, where it says condo and it's really not a condo. It could be a single family unit, it could be an attached unit, and you really have to dig deep into the records because back in the 70s, they called everything condo, even if it wasn't. And I've had to fight this on probably 5 different occasions. I've gotten Melissa involved, Ron Kopis involved, because we have to dig so deep into finding that information to save my clients from having to go through a condo review, or maybe the VA wasn't going to be accepted because it was a condo versus a townhouse or a duplex or attached. So just really dig deep. Title is not going to dig deep for the most part. So you guys really have to dig deep. Melissa and I, what was it, the Maricopa County Assessor's Office that we had to dig deep in, and then also Monsoon that showed like the details. So just talk to one of us if you ever come across something that looks like maybe it's not a condo. You can talk to one of us. Anyway, Epic Lending is here for you guys. We have so many different programs that will help. The rate rebound program has really been a standout for a lot of people that don't necessarily like the interest rates today. So they get in on a house, they will be able to refinance after 6 payments. If rates come down more than a half a point, they can do this multiple times within 5 years. So, there you go.
So
there's-
if any of you online that didn't get that flyer, send Barb a note so she can email you that flyer.
For the condo changes, I'm
Yeah.
happy to do that. Just remember the key dates are one's already in effect for the 10%, and then January it goes into effect for the 15%. These are big changes. This could make or break your deals. Especially with buyers getting pre-qualified, they need to know what's going on. And then back to Epic, anything that you guys need help on with the list and lock, with rate rebound, the all-in-one. I just closed another all-in-one. It's less rate dependent. And for your money savvy people, it can really work. So reach out. I'm happy to talk to you about any of that. Have a wonderful week.
Any questions? Anybody?
Anyone online has questions?
Okay, I'm gonna jump back real quick just to remind you that the entire team upstairs, Lisa, Debbie, and Jan are available to help you with Rock. Kimberly and Lee are here for your marketing needs. Please reach out to them. They were not able to come down because of they had a closing issue that they were trying to resolve. I think that puts us at the end. Folks, I know we ran over, but it was great having our government affairs person from Phoenix Association. Thank you so much for joining us, Artis. We really appreciate it. I don't know if you want to do buyers or sellers, folks online. If you want to jump off, you can. I'm going to stop recording and then I will, but I'll leave you guys on if you want to stick around for the buyers and sellers information. Hold on a second. So.